Saddle up. 'Cause we're about to do a whole lot of cowboy shit.
Cowboy shit.
That's some cowboy shit.
You know what it is? It's cowboy shit, man.
Yeehaw, cowboy shit.
Welcome to episode 188 of Cowboy Shit. My name is Ted Stoven. He is Dustin Edwards, coming off of a huge Roughnecks win in overtime on Saturday night in Calgary, taking on the Georgia Swarm. Suck it, Georgia. You're going down in overtime.
Yeah, take your Georgia peaches and beat it.
And fucking beat it.
Man, thanks for coming to the game, Ted. It was and I just said this before we got on. If you haven't been to a Roughnecks game, they're damn wild. Like they're physical, they're fun. And we won in overtime. It was a heater. It was a damn good time.
Those guys whack the ever living fucking shit out of each other, and it is wild as hell.
It's bizarre to watch them beat the shit out of each other with the stick.
Yeah.
And then randomly the ref calls a slashing penalty, and you're like, guys have been slashing the shit out of each other for 15 minutes. Like, what? Why now?
Are there much for fights in lacrosse? Like, do we?
Yeah,
fight each other?
Actually, a lacrosse fight from our league made it onto Joe Rogan's podcast last week.
Oh wow!
Because he didn't know there was he's like, man, check this out, lacrosse. Never heard of it, and you can beat the shit out of each other. A guy got totally KO'd, and Rogan shared it and chatted about it. But damn, because man, it's street fighting. You're on your shoes.
Yeah, legit.
They take their helmets off and they just beat the shit out of each other. So it's pretty wild. But
they beat the fuck out of each other without with their shit on. Like they just whack each other, and it's like full cross checking. Like
the hit that McDavid got suspended for today, like that cross check to the head. That would be
encouraged.
Every shift. Yeah, it's
the NLL. Yeah,
100% encouraged. Yeah.
You might look back at your pictures from the game on Saturday and see me. And one guy got totally fucking demolished, and I lift.
That was right in front of you, wasn't it?
It was right in front of me. The biggest
big
hit of the game. Yeah,
Hayden Dixon hit that guy.
I don't know if you'll see a picture of it or something, but you might have to go back and look back at the tape or look at the video. I was I was just sitting back. I was pointing. I was like, whoa, that guy got fucked up.
That guy got rocked. Yeah. Now that I remember seeing the clip, you'd have been right behind it. So
I was right behind it in my Pendleton jacket. And ball cap, Roughnecks ball cap, just whoa, that guy got mauled right there.
We'll see if we can find the clip. But and not just trying to boost ticket sales, but if you haven't been to a game, come on out.
Come check it out. Hey, you'll come for the party, but you'll stay for the game.
That's right.
And they won in overtime, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And the crowd went nuts. It was great.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh.
What else is happening? You're coming to us from abroad.
Yeah, I'm in Dallas, Texas.
So Ted flew into the U.S. under Biden. You will leave the U.S. under Trump.
Yeah, Trump took over today again. He's back, y'all.
Not much excitement in there over it, or
no,
what?
It's kind of surprising. I thought there'd be some cheers inside the there actually was a cheer inside our meeting today. Once everybody was like, Trump's in again. Everybody was like, they all cheered and everything. That was pretty entertaining. It was cool though. I hope he doesn't hammer us with too many tariffs, and I hope if he gives us some tariffs, we tariff him back. But
what's the president can just come in and basically just he's doing
signing
shit.
Executive orders tonight already, apparently.
What's the first thing if you were the president of the U.S. and you came in with unlimited power? What's one thing you'd do just to shake shit up?
Make rodeo an official sport of America and tell all the tree huggers and all the PETA folks to fuck right off.
Okay, that's
what I would say. Yeah, I'd tell them to fuck completely off because it's not going anywhere.
That's fair.
Make a tree and fuck off because it's not going nowhere.
Okay.
What else? Okay, I gotta say this. So I've been thinking about this. Okay, so actually, go back to yours though. What would you make? What would your executive order be?
Me? Oh,
yeah, what would it be?
Well, I feel like you can right wrongs. Man,
this is way more. Yours is way more diplomatic than mine, Dustin.
I'd get Logan Hayes' score back in round 10 of the NFR. That's my rodeo influenced presidential pardon.
Oh dear, I would bring the Calgary Stampede and make sure that they're part of the CPRA again. Tell them that sanction with the Canadian Pro Rodeo Association.
We just have to talk to other presidents in Canada about that one.
Oh dear. We got to talk about Dad's service too.
Yeah.
That was like that's since the last show. I guess that was the 13th. This is the 22nd. This one's coming out. But we gotta talk about dad's my dad's send off.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was I want to say you did a hell of a job up on the mic. The
Did the best I could.
Stoveyisms was a really good touch. A lot of clips from the show that that you did with your dad. The dad, what do you call it? The dad cast?
Yeah, and that started off as just us recording his stories. That
Yeah.
wasn't going to be a podcast. We decided to make it a podcast after we recorded it, but like we were just recording his stories, and I'm glad we
So
did.
what a nice touch at the service to hear all the stories, him telling them like on the sound system. Was really good. We had a shot of whiskey at the end.
Scotch.
Or scotch. Yeah, you guys did a really good job. Your dad would have been proud, man. It was really well done.
I'm
You and your
glad to
brother
hear.
both. Yeah. Really
JD
did a
was
good
more
job.
polished than me, but did my best.
Well, you were JD had a written out speech. You were shooting from the hip a few times and it was really good. So I was just pumped, not pumped, but when you said you were gonna play stories, I was sitting by Doug Young and I was like, only story I want to hear is like the polar bear story.
Yeah.
And then when the clip came on of your dad saying that like the polar bear swiped this guy's head clean off, I just started laughing because I knew it was coming and it was one of my favorites. So
Oh man. Yeah, I couldn't believe the end of it where he's just like, yeah, and they sent the guy back and what was left of him in about a it was what was left of him
shoebox.
in about a shoebox. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's fucking morbid, but also holy shit.
Yeah. So you guys you did your dad proud. It was really, really good.
Oh, no, I'm glad that I could help entertain you and Doug for the afternoon.
Yeah, it was your dad would have enjoyed it.
Meant a lot for you guys to show up, so thanks for being there.
Yeah, and editor Sean Morton was on the slideshow and the audio, did a good job there. So
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks again to Sean for making that work and putting it all together. It was awesome.
yeah, really good.
Totally awesome. What else we got, Dustin? What else is up today?
Oh man, well, I mean, it's quiet around here. Just back to the grind, I guess.
Married life.
I know married life. Seen a lot of people out in Banff this weekend for skijoring, including
Oh yeah.
Sean Morton was out there. Intern Matt was
the
out
intern
there.
getting
Yeah,
some
he
interviews.
was
What
out
were you
there.
doing out there? I didn't know you were there.
No, I didn't go. I just seen
Heard
it
about
all
it.
on social media. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
And so that looked good. Things are happening down in Denver this week, rodeo
Oh
wise.
yeah, that's right. Friend of
So
the show,
lots of
Vine, Kine and Vine.
Kind and
On
Vine is
location?
down there. I think he's on day 16 of probably what feels like 100. So
Yeah, I think they're like 29 days down there or something.
yeah, keep it up, Kino down there. What else? Yeah, it's
Oh
kind of
man.
January.
Well, and
Today's
first
Blue
time.
Monday, by the way.
Pardon?
On the news today, they said it's Blue Monday. Today's the most depressing day of the year.
Oh yeah. I gotta
So
say
if you're depressed today, sorry.
well, but call your friends because this is the day. This is the day like historically that Ty Posbon took his own life. So, just for those, when we talked about Ty on the show lots of different times, but Blue Monday was the day that he committed suicide, and we have created the Ty Posbon Foundation since. But
Yeah, call your buddies. If you're having a
Call your
bad
friends,
day and
man.
Blue Monday is
Call
a
us.
real thing,
And be
for
honest.
you, yeah.
And don't be afraid to just be like, hey, I'm fucking struggling. And I
Yeah.
don't know if I've told you that yet before, Dustin, but I've definitely told a few people that like when I'm having a hard time, like I just open up and like, hey, I'm having a fucking bad go. So
Yeah. And that's how it should be. And
yeah.
there's these time of the year, like post Christmas and
Mhm.
in minus 30 up here today, Ted, and
Yeah.
January and snow and dark. Get up in the
Can
morning,
suck.
it's dark, go to bed, it's dark. And so yeah, if you're
Can
having
be
a shitty day, call your buddies.
Call your buddies.
Lots of good stuff happening out there to keep you afloat.
Exactly. Okay, but this week on the show, Dustin, first time, long time, I would say Kenny Fiedler. We've been fans of the guy for a long time. He's got a song called Cowboy Shit, and we're proud to introduce the official song of Cowboy Shit is a song called Cowboy Shit, and it's by Kenny Fiedler. So
That's damn sweet.
yeah, we got a consistent song. We're gonna play it every time on the show, and we're gonna play a few more Kenny songs this show as well. There's a few that he told us about, a couple of new tracks. But yeah, another show from Vegas at the NFR. We're almost running out though, Dustin. We're gonna have to record some new shows here soon. But
Yeah, we'll get back on some new stuff, but I
Yeah,
mean, still
good.
awesome to get him on the show. That's super cool.
yeah, absolutely. So it's been a lot of fun. And I had a great time catching up with him, getting to know the guy. I picked him up at his hotel. It was the Westgate. Picked him up. He had an agent line everything up, and then eventually he just got my phone number. He's like, "Hey, do you want to just like pick me up? Well, I'll just come over that way." And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'll come get you, man. Like, no worries, it'll be fun." So like, I went and picked him up, and then I think I dropped him off afterwards. After did the interview, we had a great morning, and yeah, just had a lot of fun. So hope everyone enjoys the interview here. Thanks to Devon Riches for recording the video section and doing a quick cameo with us and
Yeah.
answering a few questions. It's a lot of fun.
Well, and of course, if you're wondering, say, where have I heard the name before? If you're not familiar, he did have the iconic anthem to the barrel racers. I don't know, it's probably 10 or 12 years old at this point now.
Oh,
but
or maybe more. Yeah, who knows?
Barrel Racer Land was the anthem to the Can Chasers.
And it's classic, total
It's a
classic.
classic. That's Kenny. So
And Devon may or may not have been triggered by the song, but he said it was an anthem of hers, so she loved it. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, everybody. That once again, this is Cowboy Shit. I'm Ted. He is Dustin, and this is Cowboy Shit. It's episode 188 with our theme song writer.
I've been rambling around towns I ain't ever seen. It ain't much of a life, but it's a hell of a dream. And it's been fading fast. When it burns, it's bright. No, I ain't an up and coming, but I'm bringing the fight. 'Cause this ain't some rhinestone bit. This ain't some circus show. Yeah, son, this is pure cowboy shit. Ain't your daddy's rodeo. No, it ain't his rodeo.
All right, we're back in Las Vegas. It's day number 2, but it feels like day number 7 trillion. Las Vegas can be hard on a guy, but this is a show that we've been talking about for a long time. I've had this guy's name on the list for a long time, even if I didn't know how to properly pronounce it for a long time because I can't read good. But hey, he's a former rodeo cowboy, and he's got some songs that you'll definitely know exactly what they are. But coming to us here in Las Vegas today from South Dakota, please welcome Kenny Feidler.
Thanks for having me, Ted.
Thanks for doing this morning. I know you guys had a big show last night at the Westgate.
Yes.
And let's talk about that first off, how the show went.
Sure, it was great. It was our first time doing a full band thing here in Vegas, and I've always felt like I was missing out, not coming out and doing stuff, and I think I've came out and done a couple booths before. Just
when you say that,
things.
like, okay, so playing acoustic at a booth, okay.
Yeah.
I was curious what you meant by that when I was.
Well, and it's
here before.
it's such a Vegas is such a good opportunity for artists to come out and do stuff that normally it's kind of free and come out and just mix it up, and that's well worth it. But when you're packing around a band and other guys, 6 people that need to make a living, it kind of helps to have an anchor.
Have a real show that's going to pay some
well,
bills.
and just to do it right, and proper sound, and the Westgate was really great. The sound and I think Elvis played that room.
Really?
That was kind of wild.
Well, because that used to be the Las Vegas Hilton for the longest time.
Yeah,
he lived there forever.
Yeah, he had a residency. He had all
Yeah.
this stuff. He had some of his guns in some of the cases there. It was cool. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So no, it was a lot of fun, and it was just nice to get to do a real one out. A full set out here.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
so this is that was the first real NFR show in Vegas.
Yeah.
Wow.
First legit one. So
Yeah.
no,
The other
I'm
ones were
hoping
less
we get
legit
to
before.
do a lot more.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is just the start of it. I know. So I know, we were talking about a friend of the show, been on a couple different episodes. Corb Lund, though. Corb's got a few shows here now in Vegas, and is on a lot of the talk shows they're doing during the day.
Sure.
And but 10, 12 years ago, Corb had one of his first really big shows here at the MGM when they did that party back in the convention center.
Sure.
But like since then, he's like made it a point of like every December he's been here for kind of the whole time, and
it was
made
probably
a
way
thing.
past due for him to
Absolutely,
at the time.
And same for you. Like
Yeah.
I'm surprised by this.
Yeah. So no, it's great, and so have us back next year. Anyone that wants us.
Yeah, please.
Yes, please.
We're working on it. Okay, we were talking about the name for some reason. Like I don't know if back when I was in college that everybody thought your name was Kenny Fiedler.
Yeah.
Nobody knew it was Kenny Fiedler, but I forgot the D came before the L, and then
Yeah, it happens all the time, and I'm never
that's funny.
I'm never upset about it, but I always try to like cue people up.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Thanks for letting me know.
yeah.
Luckily I did some homework, so I
Yeah.
had a little bit of.
Sometimes fans will argue with me about my own name, and that's always an awkward moment. But,
Oh dear.
Yeah. No.
You're like, no, actually, it's actually my name. I'll tell you how to say it.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So.
Man, what's the worst debacle of introductions though? Because there's got to be somebody that's like said,
Oh.
"Can you feel it?" And you're like, "No, actually, it's."
The cringiest stuff for me is when so like Barrel Racer Land is like my most famous song, but not my proudest.
Not your proudest?
Yeah.
Are you? It's Devin's theme song. Devin,
Thanks, Devin.
Devin, come around.
Get in the
help
shot.
us out here for a second. Yeah, come and join the show for a minute. Yeah, we need to ask Devin. So yeah, you know where the shot is. So Devon Riches is here. Devin is doing video today. She flew down to help us out. And but Devin, from Kenny Fiedler himself, Kenny, do you want to ask a real barrel racer who says this is her theme song? Any questions about the song?
Why would you do that to you? It's so terrible. No,
The man that wrote the song.
Yeah, I'm really
We're talking to a real barrel racer here.
yeah, I really appreciate that people like it, but it's so far from everything that I do, and I'm always just. I hope I'm not known when I die as the barrel racer guy.
But Devin,
thing, though.
Yeah,
That's such a great thing.
Well, it's a good introduction to our other music, so
It is.
I'll take it.
All of it's good, but like
Yes.
every day
Oh.
is a great day. in
What-
Florida.
and we always joke about it, or I used to more. It was like, hey, if this really offends you, then it's probably you. so
Devin, do you feel targeted by this?
Slightly.
No. So if you're if you're a barrel racer and it's funny to you, then you're good.
I did almost get in a fight with my best friend once too.
Oh, and-
so I'm like hardcore relate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's on the team. She's
That's a true line.
Just a friend that had a problem.
It's real.
Yeah, and and it's just like a joke stuff. And I always like some people get a little too aggressive with it, and I'm, like they've been burned by someone in the day or something, and I'm like, no, actually, like my wife ran barrels. Like I'm definitely a pro women's sports, and
You're an
like I'm
advocate,
stoked
yeah.
with breakaways, like making kind of coming back.
Be a
or
thing,
yeah,
right?
getting to be
We're
where
working
it should
on
be.
it. We're working on it.
Yeah, hashtag ad breakaway.
Yeah.
So
you're listening in
I'm
NFR.
definitely not like a woman hater.
You didn't write it to be
writing-
offensive.
Yeah.
It just
No.
happened to be offensive. It's a joke. It's a
It was,
play.
it
It's
was
a play.
a college thing, and it's just to be funny. And so thanks, Devin.
No, it's a
Yeah,
great song.
Yeah, thank
It's a
you.
great
Thank you.
Every time we go to a jackpot, it's
good.
on.
Good.
What
Shit, so.
Awesome. Thank
What's
you.
your favorite line from Barrel Racer Land?
Oh. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but she knocked down third.
Yeah.
Because I spent a whole year knocking third.
Well, I was just like, there's too many verses in the song, because when we do it now, I'm just like, is this sucker almost over? Because like, there's like, I could probably freestyle more, and every once in a while I'll be like, there's a line, and now I'm just like, all right, this is it, done adding stuff, and one day we're gonna put a live album out, hopefully soon this year, and people can actually hear the song the way it's played now, instead of me in college learning how to play stumbling over the guitar and producing it in my bedroom. So
Look forward to that.
yeah.
That'll be
So
sweet.
thanks, Devin.
Do you have any lines to add to the song that could be part of it that maybe aren't currently?
And you're really putting her on the spot.
Probably nothing appropriate that I can think of right now.
Well, it's Cowboy.
We'll workshop this later.
I'm a
Yeah.
songwriter, so she's a video girl.
Thanks,
Devin.
Thanks, Devin. Have you had that happen before many times when you had a real barrel racer like come and like Devin's cool about it. Like
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, it's a great song. It's my theme song. But how many barrel racers? Like, what's the barrel racer hate mail?
I've never
like?
had anyone
Be really offended.
be really offended, except like the YouTube comment warriors or
Oh,
something like
I
that.
bet there's some gnarly
and
ones,
and I
right?
just kind of, it's so it's like for as big as the song got. It's not something like I brag about.
Fair, I understand.
And because like it is nice. Like it let me have a career, and it introduces a ton of people to my music. But like every time it passes like a major streaming milestone,
You're like, damn it.
well, I just don't. I never bring it up, and
Okay.
and normally like a songwriter, that's something that's the time when you do that. Is like,
Yeah, true.
It had this many million
Because it's a
streams or
lot.
whatever,
Like, it's a
and-
pretty high number.
Yeah, and so I just
Plus, there's all the burned CDs from back in the day,
right,
too.
yeah. So Ted and I were talking about this. So I was first able to start like distributing on like Spotify and stuff in 2013 or somewhere around then, but I think as early as like 2008, I started burning CDs, and like I would go to the college library and use all their printers to make the labels. And so if you have a
you have an
an
original
OG
one?
CD that was made by me, and it's probably
Personally.
easy to tell.
Well, and even so, it's kind of funny, but even the stuff that's still on Spotify, like the original Barrel Racer Land and Cowboy shit, like those, yeah, almost 21 million, 20.5 million
Yeah, on
streams
Spotify.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
And but those original songs, like somebody was telling me about sound one time, and I don't know a lot about sound. We know a little bit enough to do events and
Sure.
whatnot. Like we're learning. I call it failing forward by doing it and fucking it up, and then
Yeah.
we figure it
Yeah,
out.
That's been my whole life.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
but the like the sound of those ones, it's very like there's not a lot of depth to them because they're
No.
you recorded them on like a little like a basically like a phone or like something
Yeah,
back in the day, right?
and even it's crazy how like audio technologies became more accessible over the years.
Oh yeah.
So in 08, I'm pretty sure the mic that I used for like those songs was like a $10 PC mic.
No way.
which-
Like a USB thing?
Yes, like
Oh, geez.
very bad. And I also didn't have any production knowledge, so it was pretty much straight, never mixed or anything. It was just in my bedroom, and
In
some of the
college?
stuff was like out of my boot shop. I had a boot repair shop for a while.
Really? So
And,
like are you talking like a little shoe repair store? Like
Yeah,
you ran it?
Yeah, so I've had like a lot of jobs that aren't really
Unconventional,
yeah,
some might say.
yeah, so I was a blacksmith for a while in college.
Dang.
Did that for did ornamental ironwork and hand forged like railings and furniture.
No way.
And then
What did you actually go to school for?
ag business, like every other college rodeo person.
Understandable.
Yeah, but yeah, for a long time, like career was not like I thought I was just gonna rodeo forever, and I wasn't good enough to do that. But when you're in college, like there aren't many other plans besides I'm gonna go rodeo.
There's not much plans besides like Friday.
Right.
What are we
Yeah.
doing this weekend?
Sure.
Right?
And
Which rodeo are we going to tomorrow?
so all those back in the day I was just kind of always doing like things just to get by. And,
Huh. But so then sorry, blacksmith, then boot repair. Like, did you buy a store from somebody?
No, I just bought my
Some
my
machines?
friends Brett Olive and Scotty Harmon. They had a little boot repair thing they started up in Nebraska, and it wasn't working. They had a storefront, and then so I bought all their old machines and moved it to my garage in Oklahoma, and it was looking back because I consider myself like a way better, like pretty decent run in my business now, and back then I was just kind of like trying to make $60 at a time,
That's wild.
restolen boots,
Yeah.
and
now it's like I pay $100 and some back home to get a pair of boots
Right,
resold.
yeah.
That's an art though. Like you got to be almost like a bootmaker to be able to even.
sure, and
do that.
I mean,
That's
and
a
it's
cool
it's
job.
definitely like a little easier to like restolen boots, but those days like I was never really like a craftsman or anything. I didn't even know how to weld before I started working for
No way.
for Mike that taught me to blacksmith, and now like I'm very like detail oriented with craftsmanship, and like that was like the transition from me being like just a kid that didn't really know how to do anything to I don't really feel like caged into where I can't build anything now, welding
Wow.
or carpentry.
That's
or,
probably pretty handy at the
Yeah.
place too.
it's a good life outlook to be in that spot where to be very DIY, and it carries over into my in our music business and everything we do. It's why pay someone else to do something when you can do it yourself? And to a certain point,
Yeah, I understand.
If it's gonna make the profit margin that much better, then it's worthwhile doing for me.
Huh. I'm trying to think where to go from here. There's a lot of options on what we can talk about, but
Oh yeah, sure.
I want to go. I think the barrel racer land is hilarious. Like it's funny.
Yeah.
But like it seems like you're, and I get it because like cowboy shit, like the name, like I feel like sometimes like, oh yeah, like I don't know if I should really. It feels inappropriate sometimes. Like kids like can't really play it in school, and like it's a weird situation.
Well, and I think I think like the title and like the tag is what like draws people to it, but I'm still very proud of that song because it's just about me rodeoing with my friends, and
it feels like college to me.
Yeah, and it's there's nothing
Reminds me
like
of college.
vulgar in the song.
Not really.
I mean, besides the name, it's all good things, and it's not something to be funny or like Barrel Race Land was like a joke. Like cowboy shit was not a joke to me. It was just the tag is what might be the only explicit thing about it.
Okay.
But,
fair enough.
The rest of it's just, rodeoing with your friends, and so we play all those songs every night, and especially if it's a headline thing, we do a 2-hour some show and try to play as much as we possibly can, or many of them as I can remember.
Well, so what are some of your favorite covers that you put into your live shows then too?
I don't do any
nothing
covers.
It's all original stuff.
Yeah, and we do one. So our guitar player Casey Sheldon, he's a songwriter also, but he was mentored by Pinto Bennett out of Idaho.
Oh.
And Pinto, he passed away years ago, but he was really influential in Casey, and it's starting to carry over in our stuff. And so we play one Pinto Bennett song called "Drown in the Shallows," and it's kind of a little deep cut. We play that every night in the set now. Anytime I've ever done covers, it's things that aren't trendy, and they're songs that are meaningful to me. At the end of the show, sometimes we'll do a Towns song. Like Towns Van Zandt was one of my favorite songwriters, and my boy's name is Towns. So we'll do Poncho and Lefty here and there. We'll do John Prine's "Speed of the Sound of Loneliness," but that's about the extent of
Only
our covers.
a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. I was kind of curious though, because you kind of said like mentioned on the rock and roll side of things, and like
Sure.
the different tempo, like it's a different feel sometimes, and some of the like really old school country and western guys.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. No, for the most, I mean, we are. It is kind of a rock and roll show, and it's a weird switch up from the early days when it was just acoustic, and so now the songs kind of have a way different feel to them. The lyrics are still there, and it still kind of rings true, but I don't know. I really like the energy and the emotion behind rock and roll stuff, because I mean I'm a very I sing very loud and with a lot of force now. Back in the day, it was kind of me just noodling around on a guitar singing. I had a lot prettier voice back in the day, and I think now it's definitely gravelier and a little harsher. But I just like the emotion of that on stage, that people know that man, that was about everything that guy had left to sing that.
Yeah.
And you can tell the next day how I sound. But
Well, yeah, I had a show last night.
sure.
So you're, but what about like, does that hurt you much? Like, what's the recovery time like when you're going back to back to back to back 3, 4, 5 days in a row? Not too bad.
It's doable. Yeah, we don't really sleep a whole lot. We don't stay out on tour very long, so we'll go. We'll leave my house if we have to be somewhere on Thursday night, or a 2:00 load in or something. We'll leave Wednesday night at 10:00 at night and drive to Texas or something, and we stay up. So that's like the one thing that does kind of hurt recovery, and taking care of the voice is just trying to get a little bit of sleep, and not like chewing or the coffee and stuff like all through the night. does kind of lend to tearing you up a little bit more in
Yeah.
your throat. But yeah, that's the only recovery that I ever like struggle with is just not getting enough sleep and trying to stay healthy, like not wrecking my immune system every weekend.
Yeah.
But
It's tricky.
yeah.
Talk about. I want to talk about some of the early on, like lyrics and songwriting and getting into it. You told the story. I've heard you kind of tell the story before, but I kind of want to get to some different stuff some different conversation. But I want to ask about the songwriting side of it because that's an art form itself. It sounds like you're an artist not only in the music side of things, but there's
Sure,
on
like
the blacksmith side, like you're creating.
Well, songs are the most important. I mean, I pride myself the most on my songs. I mean, and there's varying levels of production and developness of the songs over the years, but it's always been like lyrics first for me, and I've always tried to find those deeper ways of saying things and more clever ways of saying things that aren't cliche or something like that. And I've always it takes me a lot longer to write songs now because I'm very critical of the songs themselves and how they're worded. And the songwriting is the most important part. And without a good song, you can polish that any way you want, production wise. You can have the best players on something. If the song sucks, it's still gonna suck.
Yeah, true.
And you can kind of glaze over it, and a lot of stuff passes on mainstream for what's good because it's easy to sing or it's applicable to the masses. But that's just not something I've ever strove for. It's always I don't care if something's popular. You don't make things. You want to make a living, but you also don't make things to be sellable. And people do, and I'm not ripping on it, but that's how you start losing the heart of music. Is if it doesn't mean anything to you, and you're just doing it to sell. Then it's just a product, and that's shit for music to me. You need to have things that are meaningful, and that's. I think it's going to come through no matter what the production is, and there's plenty of guys that do have stuff that's stripped down and it's new, but like the heart of the song was there, and that's why it still ended up being successful because, the lyrics were meaningful.
I've thought about this before, like doing I play the music at the shows different times.
Yeah.
And I get tired of playing the same stuff over and over again, like at a rodeo event that's 4, 5, 6, 7 days long.
Right.
What are your thoughts? Like, what's it like for you when you're playing
The same
your
songs?
stuff? Yeah. What's that like? Where's your head at?
It never. You would think that it would, but when you're playing songs that are meaningful to you, and especially now, the musicianship's so much better, and my band works really hard. We try to like reinvent things constantly to make the songs more dynamic, and a lot of times, sometimes on stage, like you're not looking to like impress anybody except your bandmates, and make things unique, and so the musicianship has gotten so much better, and every time, I don't know, it never gets old. I mean, Barrel Race Land's the only thing that get old to me playing at a live show. Sorry, Devon. But besides that, it doesn't get old, and they're my songs, and that kind of goes to that cover thing. I've never felt there's times where guys have a live show and there's a lot of covers, and that's always great for the listeners, and it gets like crowd involvement. It's easy to sing to, but it's like a short-term I'm missing the word right now, but you're getting that short-term pop right there, but at the end of the night that it doesn't do anything for you. And when you're playing your own songs, you're always proud of them, and no matter how many times you play them, to have that experience for someone new each night, that's what I really enjoy about it. And if it's, even if there's one person that came and it was their first time seeing you, like, you got to make sure that you never mail it in for even just that one person, because that's their first shot at seeing you, and they might have traveled a long ways, and So I'm trying to make sure we always do right by the listeners at the shows and do that. Yeah.
Well, and I guess every time you play it, there'll be something different with it. Whether it's a different room, different audio, different mix, different timing, different how you're feeling that day. Like it's gonna be different in some way every time, I imagine. I guess.
Yeah, and there's always like we were talking about going to in-ears and stuff, and how helpful that's been because with a live show
rather than floor wedges before.
Yes, and like it used to be so loud. We'd play all stage volume. Like the only thing in the monitors was my vocal, and then the it felt very rock and roll and very loud. Like your ears are ringing every night, and
that's not good long term.
No,
when
no.
You're trying to do this as a profession,
and you don't want to as like I think the more professional you go, the less variables you or the more variables you want to cut out to make sure it's so streamlined. And it's not because you want it to be the same show. It's just you want it to be quality wise high end for the people coming to the show. So you try to eliminate those little variables, but the rooms change, and something will screw up, piece of gear will take a shit, and
some will break on you.
Yeah, so there are always variables, and the crowd energy. There's times where it's seated and you're not getting the same energy back, and you have to like get all of that energy from the band, and then there's other times where the crowd's like up on the rail, and it's so effortless to. It feels
rolling.
like it's just coming back. You could do anything, and people are stoked. And then other times it's a knife fight just to like make sure that you're keeping the energy going. And but you can't really show you don't talk about those things on stage. You just do it.
Yeah. Well, because there's probably like I don't want to say probably, but like there maybe have been some times where things have gone a little haywire.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
and you might lose a room. Like you mentioned the story where you're at the Buckenstock sale in Miles City, and people are starting to steal your merch out there, and you got to go and get the room back.
I had to break the wall and call someone out for stealing something.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's wild times at a Buckenor sale. I mean,
jeez. I knew you as a former bareback rider.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would go up there, and it was like shitty pay, like like they wanted you to play for 3 or 4 hours, and and
hopefully get a break.
Well, yeah, and
keep singing, boy.
So we would split it with some other friends of ours to play some of their songs, but those are wild times, and you're how many 100 people packed into a little Montana bar. It's fun, but it's also kind of chaos at the same time.
Yeah,
and there's been a lot less of that kind of thing, but I still enjoy that stuff. Whenever there's an opportunity to do something cool that gives like a different experience for fans, I'm all about it.
Out there on the plains, they're striking fire. Cub and dog can't buy when you got him by the throat. Soon we'll all be choking on the wire. Down below. No, God ain't here, and hell is all we know.
Who are some of your influences on the music side of things? And that was what I meant to ask.
So, like, I talk about this a lot, but like Chris Ledoux's music was like the whole reason I started riding bareback horses. And like those songs were so meaningful to me. And then when I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and
that's right. I forgot about that part too.
So
sorry, I was a little foggy last night.
No, that's all right.
But it's amazing the amount of Western stuff in that area. People don't realize. Like even Brisby, when you mentioned that, he's like, "What, bull riding in Maryland?"
Yeah,
there's a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
in,
so there was
in
a
that
lot
area.
of bull ridings. But at that time, like I think like Pennsylvania was the only state that had high school rodeo. So like we'd high school rodeo in Pennsylvania, and like my family wasn't ever involved in rodeo, so it was a new scene to us, and we were unfamiliar. But at the time, like the internet wasn't as like user friendly, and there wasn't as much music out there that you could just you would have to buy like a physical CD from Amazon if
To
you
have
wanted
one song.
Yeah, and so like I would go to like the library and find like Ian Tyson CDs at the library, which they would be there, and take them
From
home.
the like Ian and Sylvia days, probably.
Yeah, and I'm not that old.
No, I'm just saying, like from
Yeah,
the library.
yeah, whatever.
I know you're
whatever,
we're a similar age.
Yeah,
just for reference.
whatever was there, and I was like just trying to get my hands on like any form of cowboy culture while I was over there. So
there's not as much. There's not a lot of it in the Baltimore area. Like there is a little bit, but it's not.
Definitely
as prevalent as in South
Yeah,
Dakota now.
it's pretty much just rodeo for the most part. It's not like it's definitely different, and so like I got into like Tom Russell and Dave Stamey and Ian Tyson, like for like your more traditional side of things. And then as I started listening to more music, I got into like the alt country stuff. Like Lucero is one of my favorite bands, and I've got into like the little more rock and roll side of that, but it's still very rootsy, untapped, kind of weird music, and now I really enjoy like songwriter stuff. So we're always listening to new stuff on the road and trying to things that maybe you don't hear about very often, and you're like, man, this is super cool, and just listen, whether it's musicianship or songwriting. So I've never made any attempt to like try to like mimic anybody or do what they were doing, but there's little bits and pieces, like Tom Russell, the way he writes songs, like so cool, and there's so many dark songs, like Tom Russell songs. I've always like kind of been attracted to like the darker content, and so there's a lot of my songs that involve death or the devil makes a scene and everything, but I have a great life. Like I'm not like an emo kid, I just like those heavier subjects, and
maybe some more weight or meaning to them.
Yeah, and there's just like you said, there's weight to that stuff, and like I don't write a whole lot of love songs, I love my wife, and we have a great life, but I've told her before, like I just can't write. Like I feel like it starts getting cheesy as soon as you start doing that. And but I do have some stuff, and as I've gotten older, and I'm a dad now, and so like this album Bloodshot, and a lot of those songs on there are about being a father and trying to find the balance and being doing right by your family and still make a living, and the trade-offs for some of that stuff, and but yeah, I just wrote things that were meaningful to me. So not a lot of rodeo songs anymore because I don't rodeo. I haven't rodeoed in 6 years. And
been retired for a bit now.
Yeah, it was more of a quitting thing and less of a retirement thing. You have to have a real career.
That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
I was like, they're like, did you retire from bull riding? I was like, no, I wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I quit. Yeah, there's a difference. But it just became the thing that it wasn't. It was everything for a long time, and then once I started having kids and family, it just starts becoming more of like a selfish endeavor, and so as you get older, like the subjects you write about change, and it's
so maybe there'll be some love songs someday.
Probably not, because I've been in love with my wife for 15 years, so I still haven't gotten too many great ones out of that, but there's different ways you talk about that without explicitly saying it, and we put out the song called "In the Blood" not too long ago, or in I think March. My father-in-law passed away in a horse wreck in Arizona, and that's probably the most meaningful song I've wrote, and it's still a love song, because it's about your family, and so like different sides to that with writing, but
that would have been hard on your wife.
Oh,
that to happen. Like, sounds like a tragic wreck.
Yeah, it was terrible, and it changes everything. It's always sad when someone passes away, but when it's so early, and as like my kids are his only grandkids, and it's like the loss and stuff, and sorry not to bring the podcast down, but yeah, that's
real life.
That's real stuff, and you don't ever seek to write those kind of songs, but when that stuff happens,
It's life.
that's the realest stuff you could write about. So yeah, I did that. Like, we closed the show with that song last night because like my father-in-law loved rodeo, and I said it really quick about how like he would have really enjoyed coming, having a reason to come out to the finals, and
come see your show.
Yeah, it like choked me up last night, and man, it's almost choked me up now, but I don't I don't get choked up a lot, and but yeah, so it was a cool way to close our show last night. Yeah.
And you're going to Arizona tomorrow.
Yeah,
Another show tomorrow.
We're playing in New River at the Roadrunner. My friend Wasey Barta, he produces a lot of those things down there, and that was the first guy to ever hire me to go play Arizona. Before, I was really touring a lot, and we do it once or twice a year now.
Yeah.
And we travel all over now, and it's part of the route now. Yeah.
Give some kudos to Waitsy. I've known him for a long time. I've only met him a few times, but former bull rider as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Turned promoter and still has. I don't know what he's doing with Where They Buck.
Yeah,
at this point, but he's had that for a long time.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool to see guys that rodeo and what they do in the next step of life, and they still manage to exist in the scene, and you get creative with how whether you're a
promoter,
contractor or promoter or podcast or
whatever it ends up being.
Yeah, so it's cool to see how everybody's lives kind of. My friend Logan Corbett, he's with
name sounds familiar.
Champion Living. He does.
Oh yeah,
all the rodeo training.
Yeah,
and,
with Doug.
Yeah,
Richmond's brother.
Yeah, and Logan and I have been friends for
Since
a long
college
time.
rodeo.
Yeah, and so it's cool to see how everybody's lives evolve. We were talking about last night, like how lucky we are to still get to be a part of rodeo in some fashion, and it's really made our livelihoods in a way different way than we ever thought.
Well, and you're only going to keep going on the rodeo side of things now, because that's probably a lot of the shows you're playing are at rodeos.
Yeah, we play a lot of rodeos. We do a lot of door deals too, where we're in venues. I've tried to make sure it's a good. Obviously, rodeo folks are our demo, but try not to ever just be. We just play rodeos. We try to still also exist as road dogs to go out there and do ticketed shows at real venues, and I take pride in that stuff because it's not built in. When you get into venues, you got to hustle to get people to the show to buy a ticket. They're not going to be you can't just show up. You got to advertise and
promote it,
and really try to build up each town as you go to them. And first time it might be 50, 60 people, and you got to build it up to something where you can actually make money the next time you're in town. So. Yeah.
You mentioned something that we can't talk about yet. It's off the books to this point, but you talked about Coulter Wald, playing a show with Coulter,
right?
And I don't know this for sure, and I don't recall right now. But have you been up our way much, like up to Calgary, like up to Alberta?
I came up one time.
One time, must have been. I don't know what it was for now. Another game. Or no, you did
they
that team roping thing.
Yeah, it was
last summer.
I think they had a ranch bronc ride.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know what it was called now.
I can't. Yeah, and I don't know.
That's right. You played that show.
It was a pretty. It was like the richest.
Pasture roping,
pasture bronc riding,
and pasture bronc riding. But then they
and
pasture
roping,
too?
and I think so.
Right. Rocky Mountain something.
Yeah, it was at the Rocky Mountain
it's
Show
called.
Jumping Arena.
Yeah, it was like a polo field, right?
Yeah,
Matt
and
probably knows what that was.
That was. Yeah,
but it was Kenny had a show and they had the pasture roping and the bronc riding.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It was right before.
Sorry. Yeah, so the Rocky Mountain show jumping area is one of the bigger. It's run by the Anderson family, but it's one of the bigger show jumping areas, and it's one level down from Spruce Meadows. But
cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal, and they do that rodeo there.
Yeah, that was our first time coming to Canada to play last year, and I think it was their first year for that official event, and but that was the first time crossing the border to do something. And I've been wanting to come up to Canada, and especially that area, and it got rained out, and I ended for all the huff and puff to get up there and do all to have that show be possible. We ended up the production company, like the sound guys. Actually, like we're
Called
like,
it
there's
off.
too much lightning. We're not gonna do this. I'm like,
I gotta do this, man.
yeah. So
Came all the way here
we
for
ended up
this.
huddling up in
a tent, probably.
in a tent and I took a wedge. I think I had 2 wedges that were my our monitors in our trailer.
Oh,
and we
geez.
ran our own sound to make sure that we still did something to do right by the producer and the people that actually came.
Yeah.
But yeah, Canada, Alberta folks.
They know your stuff.
We're gonna be up.
Yeah.
We
Stay tuned.
We're starting to
folks.
get some stuff this year, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And I always we always pride ourselves in getting to get out to the folks that don't get live music on the regular, and I think Canada gets like in large
Calgary
part
gets kind of
yeah, you
shafted.
kinda get
Our
shafted
venue's
with it.
kind of it's all good. I'm trying to do my best.
But yeah, yeah, we'll be up this year, and
Stay
hopefully
tuned,
we
folks.
get to do we get a couple things, so it's not just a one-off, and get to be around a little bit. So
Absolutely.
I really enjoy that.
Well, welcome. Look forward to seeing you back up our way next year. That'll be
definitely.
fun. But stay tuned. Should be a pretty fun show.
Oh yeah,
We'll tell you more when we know more. Talk about that show with Coulter, though. We were talking about before. Coulter Wall, you did a show with him in Denver
during stock show.
Was that this spring, or when was that?
Yeah, that was
back in the January, I guess.
Yeah, it was January. Yeah, I think Coulter did like 4 sold-out nights at Mission Ballroom during stock show.
Holy smokes!
And we got asked to do the last night, and yeah, I don't. For as lucky as we've been to make a living playing music, like we haven't had a whole lot of like leg up opportunities like that.
Oh, okay.
So, and Coulter's like such a real guy, and I think I respect his music so much, and that was like a really, out of anything, I mean, opportunity wise, that was like the biggest opportunity anyone's ever given me to do something. And
really,
it probably
and was it personal? Like, does he just call you up like, "Hey, can you come up with this for me?"
I mean,
or what happened?
I'm not sure how they reached out to management, but and Coulter and I met out in Elko before.
Oh,
and,
yeah, okay.
But yeah, that was really meaningful, and you know, it might be something small to a guy like Coulter that plays huge stuff like that all the time, but for me, I mean, that's huge, and I appreciate it so much, and it's always really appreciate when we get to go, because doing support stuff and playing in front of other people's crowds is like the biggest opportunity as you know, a mid-level touring band that you can get, because we spend all year playing to our fans, and they show up on the regular and they're loyal and we appreciate them, but to grow you got to get in front of a exponentially larger crowd of people that have never heard of you, and you have to have a chance to make new fans. So opportunities like that they don't happen very often, but so thanks, Coulter. I really appreciate that kind of deal. So
what do you got on the books for next year that you can tell us about right now? For new stuff, like telling people where you're gonna be at in 2025.
I don't have we have a couple shows. Have you listened to Kellen Smith? Kellen, he lives like an hour or two from me in Gillette, Wyoming, and Kellen and I are gonna go do some shows. I know we're gonna go out to Des Moines, and Kansas City, and I'm trying to, but you can check out our
check
shows.
out the website,
on candyfiedler.com or
social media.
Yeah,
too.
so I'm really good about posting our shows, but yeah, it's in the years past we haven't had we've hit December and not had a lot of shows on the books, and this year this is the first year with our booker Ted Kraus with Wild River Talent. He's been working pretty hard, and we're starting to develop a pretty good run already, and we're not even into 2025.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah,
good to hear.
It feels really nice, and the longer you do this, the more stuff kind of like the people that are putting on rodeos, and it's not like a month before they're calling. They call it earlier, and so that helps us out a lot with routing and doing stuff. So
I gotta go back to the song side of things and lyrics.
Yeah.
What's your favorite lyric that you've written so far? What are some of your favorites that might be in your mind, or some of the favorite ones to sing, or Are there some that you don't sing that are part of some certain songs, or like what?
No.
What do you remember?
I think like maybe out of the older stuff of like lines that I thought like I was really proud of or clever. So out of the old stuff, like on Running on Fumes, I have this line about rodeo. It's wrecks and rides, the only suicide that you can watch at your county fair.
Holy.
I thought that was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And then like the newer stuff, that In the Blood song about my father-in-law Scott. The last verse is like they're ranchers out of Phillips, South Dakota, and my boys will be a part of that ranch. And so the last verse was my boys will ride these pastures on saddles left behind with nothing they could ask for except a little bit more time. But a house in town never suited you, and if we had to lay you low, it's fitting that you wrote it out. What a cowboy way to go. Like that's the stuff that's still meaningful to me, like that, like I'm really proud of, like those kind of lines that have a lot of weight to me personally. I mean, the clever stuff's cool too, when you find just a neat way of saying something, but it's the ones that are meaningful that like personally that are really that I'm really proud of.
The cowboy way to go sounds like one from Tom Russell
from
Tonight We Ride.
Yeah. I probably did rip that, but
it's only one part of it.
Yeah, but it was just that little
one
jump
piece.
there. Yeah,
that's okay. Tom's probably okay with it.
Yeah,
you probably met him
so.
at Elko too.
I haven't got to meet Tom before,
really,
but I've loved his music for a long time.
I forget about what his line is now. It's something about Pancho Villa in the beginning. Ain't that the cowboy way to go? If we drink ourselves,
drink ourselves to death. Ain't that the cowboy? If our bones bleach on,
yeah.
If we drink ourselves to death, what a cowboy way to go.
Yeah.
But different little spin on that little chunk.
Huh.
So, yeah, actually, speaking of ripping off songs, I just got so we had that song "Choking on the Wire."
Yeah.
I put it
brand new, just came out in October.
Yes, and it's actually the first of those kind of songs. I've never wrote a song like that. I don't know if you're familiar with the book Blood Meridian.
I was going to ask you next about reading, what you're reading right now, because I heard that part and I was curious.
It's a lot less reading and a lot more audiobooks. So a lot of listening.
Well, you're on the road a lot.
Yeah. But so we do listen to books, but Blood Meridian's probably my favorite book, and it's a Cormac McCarthy book, and it talks of like the Indian Wars down in Texas, Mexico, and it's a very dark, very brutal book. But I just really love. There's some really deep, like philosophical stuff in there, and anyway, that In the Bloods or Choking on the Wire, in the end of that book, in the epilogue, he kind of sets a scene of a guy of like the bone collectors coming out and gathering like the bones of the buffalo. They turn them into fertilizer, and as like that scene's going on, there's a man, like he says he's striking fire, but it makes it sound like he's digging post holes, fencing in the west. And I just thought, like, man, what a scene, and a statement of the progression of the West and how it's continuously like shrunk and caged in and fenced in, and so that's where I that's what inspired that Choking on the Wire song. And so you see these little images, and it feels like cheating a little bit when it's someone else's words that you're getting inspired from instead of someone's just story or something that you've lived. But it just like struck me, and so that's where we got that Choking on the Wire.
Makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
Behind the music.
Yeah.
Behind the music with Kenny Fiedler. On a Friday in Las Vegas.
Heck yeah.
What is there any other? Do you have anything else for Devon on Barrel Racer Land on Behind the Music? Is there?
No. People ask if there was actually for anyone. I was never traumatized by anybody. Too bad. And it's not about any real person.
It's a fictional person.
It's a fictional character. some people think it's someone way more famous or something like that, and that is not the case.
That's not the case.
Yeah, I'm not that good looking, so yeah, that never happened to me. But it was just college kid me sitting on my front porch. I came up with, I thought it was the line like, is it perfume is too strong? She passed out and hit the can, and then I needed something to rhyme with that, and that's when I made the word barrel racer land. And so I thought I should have patented it or trademarked it, but I never did because that's not really my kind of thing.
Yeah.
And but I actually did come up with that word. Cowboy shit's been around forever, so I didn't come up with cowboy.
Yeah, neither did we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so trademark wise, or yeah, barrel racer land. So if you're making merch, send us a cut.
Yeah, exactly. Barrel racer land.
But anyway.
Man, that's fun though. Like I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Yeah, this has been great.
Have a visit.
I'm gonna hang out over here at the Rio a little longer because this is it's nice it's not to be in the same spot.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I was really glad to get outside today.
Oh yeah,
like walk outside in the fresh air.
Yeah, I literally woke up 10 minutes before Ted picked me up, and Casey woke me up, and I was like,
Man,
wow,
you gotta go.
I definitely, like, I'm normally up early in the mornings.
Well, you're up till 2 or 3 in the morning last night. Though you got a
Right.
show that starts late in Vegas, and it's pretty easy to stay up late.
Yeah,
you're jacked up after the show anyways. You're not going to bed within 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, like
of
the
show
energy
anyways.
at the shows that carries over, and then also like we were up for 2 days straight traveling. So man, I was just slept in a little bit this morning.
That's okay.
And, so that's why I look the way I do right now. But
we're making it work. I could have given you more heads up.
Yeah, no, not at all. It was all me. But man, I really appreciate it. This has been a really good talk.
Yeah,
too.
thanks for doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Ken, so one of the questions we ask everybody that's on the show is what their definition of cowboy shit is. So I think you could just say it's your song, but I'm curious though.
Well, I mean,
it is obviously.
Yeah, it is.
But
one of my songs. But yeah, I think maybe I would think of it less of the superficial way of, there's like the party side of that where people are like, cow shit. Like, but it's also like, it's those meaningful moments, whether it's rodeoing or ranching, the parts of it that aren't sexy, that are, it's kind of the grind of it. That's, it's not easy, like that kind of stuff. Those parts of the lifestyle that I would think of it more that way, whether it's like the family ranch, like that's
in your
in
family.
the blood song, like the things that aren't cheesy, that are very meaningful, and traditions, and the part of that lifestyle that isn't romanticized and doesn't get talked about, like
the white lines on the road.
Yeah, like just the grind of it, to me. Yeah.
The pale horse. There's a line about bucking horses flipping over upside down.
Oh yeah,
sounds like there's a story in that too.
No,
maybe from a college rodeo or something.
Yeah, so
wait, maybe it's a fictitious horse.
No. It is pale horse. That song's just about death.
Oh.
I don't know if it's from Revelations in the Bible. Death will ride on a pale horse. I kind of ripped. So it's
ripped off the Bible.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry about that one.
God.
Yeah,
but
sorry about that one.
Anyway,
that's probably not trademarked either, though.
No, I think
okay.
it's free range. But that song's actually developed 3 times into 3 different versions. It used to be a little acoustic, kind of like dun 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 dun, and now it's super heavy. And we play it the heavy way now.
Yeah,
and it's very much just the
hard way, as the rappers say,
a symbolic, metaphorical thing about death. And I just kind of lined up that pale horse, and I'm sorry, it's like I can't like hash it out right now, but anyway, it's a very metaphorical way of looking at death, and that's what pale horse is.
Dang.
It's no, not just some white horse. So yeah. Revelations. Look it up.
Google it. What else do you want to get to before we wrap this up?
We were talking about merch earlier.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have great merch.
Hey, thanks.
And we were talking about how that's such a big part of the bit. It's kind of like I guess is the cheap side of this conversation now. But yeah, merch makes the wheels go around for musicians
For a
and
lot of
for
it.
a lot
Yeah.
of folks,
Yeah.
brands. Yeah, so if you are a band or a brand, make sure you're using good merch, because not only
And good designs and good
yeah,
stuff.
you're not trying to just make a sale. You're trying to make something that lasts, and it's advertising for your business. So
And making fans.
yeah. So we maybe we'll have to collab on something.
I think we
these
should.
Days.
I like your hats already.
We have one cowboy shit piece of merch, and
Yeah.
we sell a ton of them. But yeah, it's you guys have really great stuff. I'm probably gonna snag a shirt here.
Yeah, we'll get you something before you head
yeah.
out. Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you stop by here at the.
Oh yeah, exactly. Thanks for taking the time to come by.
You
But
bet, Ted.
man, I appreciate it, and I
No, this has been
look
great.
forward to seeing you up our way
Yeah.
next year, wherever you're. I'll stay tuned on the calendar.
Of
and
course, yeah.
Whenever you're in Calgary, look us up. I don't live too far from the airport.
Great. No.
So give us a shout.
Don't volunteer yourself. But no, thank
Hey,
you.
yeah.
Thank you again.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Hey,
this
no.
has been a great talk.
One more thing, tattoos.
Yeah.
What's the story here? You got one on. You got a horse on both hands. It looks like.
No, this is
Sorry.
this is a panther.
My bad. The horse on this side though.
People are always like, "What's the meaning behind that?" It's like,
Yeah. What's the deal there?
I'm gonna rob this from Casey, but because he said this best, he's like, "What's the meaning behind this tattoo?" It's like I had $150 to blow and some time to kill, but no, I can't.
Here,
get
let
my,
me hold that. Let me hold
yeah.
that mic for you.
Shout out to I go to the same tattooer in Arizona. It's Arizona Classic, Drew Brockoff, and he just does traditional tattoos, and
Do we need to zoom in on this? Any at all?
oh, it's okay.
Devin, no. Okay.
Do you need
I wasn't sure we need to get the art.
Yeah. But anyway, Drew does great tattoos. It's just something I found all my teenage angst as a 30-year-old, so I get all I get tattooed every time I go to Arizona.
Oh, really? So another one tomorrow? What's the
Maybe.
You don't have time tomorrow.
Yeah, it always works good when I have so my in-laws, they would winter in Wickenburg.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So we would always go down and hang, and as long as I have an extra day, sometimes it's a squeeze when we're just there for a day to go hit the shop. But yeah, maybe I'll get another tattoo.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the time. Thanks for doing
You
this
bet,
today.
Ted. Thank
Okay,
you.
Appreciate it a lot. All
Yeah.
right. One more time. Kenny Fiedler. Check him out
Thanks
on all
for
the social
listening.
medias. Yeah. Check out the new music, the shows everywhere online. But yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Of course.
They know your name, every rodeo town. That fame is fleeting, so you chase it down. And I'm living with the shame of a man who never turned around. Where are you now? Where are you now?
Come for the Cowboys, stay for the shit. Now, although our come for the party, stay for the game may be trademarked for the Roughnecks, I feel we can adapt a version of that for the show.
You're in a legal position to probably do that, right?
I'm making myself. So we got a new song and a new hashtag.
Right? Good times. Hashtag stay for the
Hashtag
shit.
Stay for the shit. Come for the Cowboys.
Stay for the shit. Once again, thanks, Kenny Fiedler. Appreciate you taking the time. Good to meet you, sir. And thanks for the theme song. We appreciate you. We know that you didn't write it about us, but it works. So we'll take it. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the guy who wrote the theme song for Friends didn't write it for them specifically.
Probably
And
not.
it caught on. So
Probably not.
we're next.
What was the other show? The Big Bang Theory. That one was wrote for them. So
Was it? Okay.
Bare Naked Ladies did write that song for The Big Bang Theory.
What's your favorite TV show theme song of all time?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to go back to like Western themes. Like one of my favorites for using it, like for the time that I spent doing Sean Morton's job at the Calgary Stampede and the Chuck Wagon evening show, Silverado.
Oh, okay.
Definite favorite. The Magnificent Seven, quite awesome
That's
too.
a classic. Yep.
I also like the Django theme song too, like the old cowboy instrumental, like Quentin Tarantino style.
Oh yeah.
That one's badass. Like for me, it's like Western themes, like instrumental, a lot of horns, a lot of cool shit that way. That's got to be me.
For
But
me,
then-
it's like anything that reminds me of my childhood of like sitting around the TV. So it's like everywhere you look. There's a
Family
you know,
Matters.
full house.
I heard a Full House. I heard a funny one about Family Matters. Some joke. It was Dave Chappelle opened up Saturday Night Live.
Wasn't that,
That
was
was
that Steve Urkel? Family Matters? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the old guy, like the dad. There was something funny about that Chappelle. Anyways, look, check out the Saturday Night
Google
Live
it.
monologue from this week with Dave Chappelle. It was fucking awesome. Anyways,
Okay.
that's it for me, Western themes. But also there's something else, but I forget now. Sorry, go ahead.
The train fell off the tracks. I'm out. That's it. I'm
Nothing
gonna
else?
watch Full House now just to relive my youth.
Oh man. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Same song, like Larry David. I don't know.
The whistling.
Yeah, but it was like they
Do-do-do.
used it in Always Sunny in Philadelphia too.
Oh, really?
Same exact song. Yeah. And they use it like every episode.
I loved Curb Your Enthusiasm. So good.
Me too. Probably
Yeah.
gonna watch. I might go to hit some golf balls at the Top Golf thing in the lobby and then go to bed. Or I might go to bed now. It's already almost 11. I'm kind of tired.
What's the temperature down in Dallas today, Ted?
Oh, let me look right now because it was not warm. I wore my sweater and my jacket for parts of the day because it was cold as balls.
Today we
But-
went from -30 to -5 by
Oh
dark.
wow.
Wild
It says it's
swings in
-1
Vancouver.
here right now.
No shit.
Dustin, -1 in Dallas, a low of -5, and tomorrow the high is +2. By Saturday though, Friday it's +14 Celsius for those wondering.
Ted's got the hiccups.
I definitely had a few
minus
drinks tonight,
-1.
not gonna lie.
We got our and there's the wine.
So I gotta
we
put my
gotta-
pinky out, right?
We gotta wrap this thing
We
up.
gotta shut this thing down.
Cold in Texas. Ted's got the hiccups. Have a sip of wine. Ted,
Ooh, some nice Pinot.
next
Thanks for joining us,
what's-
folks.
Yeah, what's the next week look like? Anything exciting? Tell the
Um,
listeners about.
Hopefully we sell a lot of shit in Dallas. If you're at WESA, Western English Sales Association, 11-682, that's the booth. Come check us out. Buy some cowboy shit for your store.
Buy it.
Cowboyshit.ca. We got some new stuff coming out as well. Always check the website. Old episodes, you can check it out. Cowboyshit.ca. Find the show. Cowboy Shit on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places.
Come for the cowboy. Stay for the shit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know what else to say about that.
I think that's our end. Yeah, that's it. That's our
Appreciate
wrap.
everyone that's part of the show. We love you.
Cut.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next time.
Pulls a 50-footer just to haul one horse. Won $100, all profit, of course. Daddy buys the feed and her boyfriend owns a truck. All she's gotta do is ride her horse. It's another great day to be looking that good. And in that arena, she's hanging on the wood. Perfume is so strong, passed out and hit the can. It's another great day in barrel racer land.